It's about time. What does elapsed mean? Today we are going to be talking about elapsed time. Elapsed refers to the passage of time. So when we are talking about elapsed time, we are talking about the difference between the start of an activity and the end of an activity. So if we were thinking about our classroom, this might be like if I say we're going to start science at 10 o'clock and finish science at 11:15. How much time has passed between our start and our finish? I might also say we are going to recess at 10 o'clock and we have to work 45 minutes before that before we get to go. What time do we have to start working? So some examples of elapsed time are just how much time will pass between the time we start an activity and end the activity. Our lesson frames for today. We will learn how to calculate changes in time. You will use strategies to solve questions about changes in time. Our strategy that we're going to be practicing in our online learning classroom for elapsed time is using a number line. Now, there are different strategies. I want you to attempt the number line strategy because, in my opinion, I've noticed that it's the easiest for third graders and you tend to be more accurate with the number line. However, just like when we're doing multiplication, division, all the things in the classroom, I know sometimes we prefer other strategies. So if you have another strategy in mind that works, you may definitely use your strategy when you problem solve, but I would like you to give the number line a try. We can think elapsed time as C, from the start to the elapsed to the end. Think about this. Which would take the longest to climb? We have a mountain or a hill. What's going to take longer to climb? A mountain would definitely take longer to climb. Thinking about what you know about time, which unit is longer to measure time? So we have hours, minutes. Which one takes longer? Not which one's the longer hand, which one takes more time. An hour is longer. A mountain would take more time to climb. So we're going to represent our hour with a mountain. Minutes are shorter. They would be quicker to climb. So we are going to represent minutes using a hill. Think about when we would need to know about elapsed time in the world. What about meeting friends to play, going to school, doctor's appointments? We calculate time all the time. I know I do this in the classroom all the time when I go, okay, we have this much time to recess, or we have this much time to lunch. I want to get this done. How much time do I have left? Will I be able to get this done? We calculate time all the time to see if we have enough time and to plan accordingly for what we need to do. Our strategy is going to be using the number line skills and C to solve problems involving time. Let's try one. And don't forget, mountains are hours, hills are minutes. Here's our first example. Far out, Ava and her family visited the Space Center at Houston. They watched a show that began at 4:10 p.m. and ended at 4:53 p.m. How long did the movie or the show last? So it started at 4:10 and it ended at 4:53. I want to know the elapsed time or how long that show lasted. So I'm going to we're going to be solving for elapsed time. We know our start and our end time. Don't forget our symbols, hour, minutes. All right, so I'm going to take my start time, end time, and I'm going to put my start time 4:10 at the beginning of my open number line and my end time 4:53 at the end of my open number line. I am talking about minutes because I'm staying in the same hour. I'm going from 4:10 to 4:53. So it's been minutes that's passed. So my first hill is going to be 10 minutes. So 4:10 plus 10 more minutes is 4:20 plus another 10 minutes would be 4:30 plus another 10 minutes would be 4:40 plus another 10 minutes would be 4:50 plus another minute. Notice I didn't say 10 minutes. I'm going for a minute because now I'm at 50 and my end time was 53. So now I'm going to add single minutes. 51, 52, and 53. Now I calculated my elapsed time. I'm going to add the elapsed time, so all of my hills there, 10 minutes plus 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 1 minute plus 1 minute plus 1 minute. If I add them all up, it gives me 43. Now, when you're adding these, remember what we know about skip counting. Skip counting is going to be much easier. So I can skip count here by tens. 10, 20, 30, 40, 41, 42, 43. Should be easy breezy just like that. Let's try another one. We're going to a rock concert. Rock on. A concert started at 7:05 p.m. It ended at 8:20. How long did the concert last? What do you know? What do you need to find? I know my start time is 7:05. I know my end time is 8:20. I need to find the elapsed time. So I'm going to start with 7:05. Now, I'm going from 7:05 and I need to get to 8:20. If I'm thinking about 7:05, 8:05, I'm going over an hour. So I'm going to first add an hour. So I'm going to take 7:05, add an hour or a mountain to it, and it's going to put me at 8:05. Can we travel any more hours? If we're at 8:05, if I add another hour, that's going to put me at 9:05. That would be too much. So 1 hour was just enough. Now I'm going to travel our minutes. So I'm going to go from 8:05 and add 10 minutes would put me at 8:15. And now, if I add another 10 minutes, that would put me at 8:25. That would be too much. So now I'm going to go down to 5-minute increments. So 8:15 plus 5 more minutes would put me at 8:20. I want you to know, even though I'm not writing this out, this isn't a PowerPoint, if I was in the classroom and we were working on our notebooks, I would write plus 1H or 1 hour every time. I would write plus 10M or 10 min or even 10 minutes every time, plus 5 minutes. You need to write that number in there because you don't want to get confused if you're working with a minute or 5 minutes. So make sure you're writing those out on your number line. So now I've gone from 7:05 and got to my end time of 8:20. I need to add them up, 1 hour, and then my minutes, 10 minutes plus 5 minutes will give me an elapsed time of 1 hour and 15 minutes. Hockey time! Tiffany and Melanie went to a hockey game that started at 6:15 p.m. It lasted 1 hour, 55 minutes. What time was the game over? This one's going to be a little different. What do I know? I know my start time is 6:15. I know the game took 1 hour and 55 minutes. If the game took 1 hour and 55 minutes, I'm not ending at 1:55. My elapsed time is 1 hour and 55 minutes. I need to find my end time. So I'm going to start with 6:15. And I know I have 1 hour of elapsed time because it says it right here. I had 1 hour. The game lasted for 1 hour, 55 minutes. So this time, instead of trying to get to my end, I'm just going to add my elapsed time in. So I'm taking 6:15. I'm going to add 1 hour. If I add 1 hour, that will put me at 7:15. Now I've added that hour in. Now I'm on to minutes. Think about the 55 minutes you need to travel. The goal is to make the jumps manageable. We don't want to do 55 1-minute blocks. So let's start with this one. We'll take it from 7:15 and we're going to add 5 minutes. Will put me at 7:20. This gives me an easy number to work with, but how many more minutes do I still need to get to my end time? That's right, we need 50 minutes. You can decompose this in many ways, but here's one way to do it. We could do 40 minutes. So I'm taking 40 out of my 50, decomposing it to 40, and that'll put me at 8 o'clock. What do I have left? What do you think I jumped in 40 minutes? I have used 1 hour and 45 minutes. How many minutes do I still need to travel? If I took my 50 and decomposed it into 40, my remainder or my difference would be 10 minutes. So I need to travel 10 more minutes. So I'll add in 10 more minutes and that will put me at 8:10. I can go back and double check. I started at 6:15. I had an elapsed time of 1 hour, 55 minutes. Here's 1 hour, 40, 50, 55. When I put those onto my number line and traveled my time along, I ended at 8:10. The hockey game ended at 8:10. Baking mania. Candace has been baking cupcakes for the past 3 hours and 25 minutes. When she was all done, the clock read 4:10 p.m. What time did Candace start baking? So what do I know? I'm actually working backwards on this one. We know what time we ended at, 4:10. We know the elapsed time, or how much time she spent. It was 3 hours and 25 minutes. Now we need to find our start time. How is this different than the other time questions we've solved? We're going back in time. We're starting with the end and we're going backwards. So in all the other scenarios we had, we were working forward. This time we're going to be working backwards. So this good connection that I make is like when we're using open number lines to add. When we're using open number lines to add, we start on the left side and work towards the right, kind of like we're reading. However, when we subtract, we're taking away, we're getting smaller. So we start on the right side, take away, move backwards towards the left side, which as we move this way, it's going to get smaller. If we know what time we end, it would only make sense that the time we start is before the time we end. So we're working backwards. We're going back in time. Since I know my end time and elapsed time, I'm going to subtract until I find my start time. Remember to start with the largest unit of time first. So we're going to start with any hours. We have 3 hours, so we're definitely going to put those on our number line first. So I'm starting with 4:10, taking away an hour, which will put me at 3:10, taking away another hour, which will put me at 2:10, and finally the last hour, which will put me at 1:10. Now I've taken away my hours, I can work on our minutes. I'm at 1:10. I want to get it to an easier number to work with, so I'm going to take away 10 minutes. If I take away 10 minutes, it'll put me at 1 o'clock. If I take away another 10 minutes, that'll put me at 12:50. And what I have left is 5 minutes because I had 25 minutes. So there's 10, 10, and 5. That will put me at 12:45. She started baking at 12:45. Let's review. What do you know? What do you need to find? And am I moving forward or backwards in time? Are the essential questions for elapsed time. I know this is a ton of information, and this lesson was quick, but we will practice. This is not it. You are going to have some independent practice where you can apply these and be a self-reflective learner to see if you have learned it or if you need more practice. Don't forget, if you sit here and you go, whoa, this is very confusing, a great place to go to get more practice if you want to get some today is onto Education Galaxy and go into My Study Plan and find the sections about time or elapsed time. Of course, if you have any questions, you're welcome to hop onto my Meet. And you need to ask yourself these questions while you solve. What do I know? What do I need to find? Am I moving forward or backwards in time? And sketch a number line if you can. The number line can definitely help it make it more concrete and less abstract. It's easier when you can see it. So now it's your turn. I want you to try this one. Handy Andy. Andy started working on a bookshelf at 11:30 a.m. It took him 5 hours and 24 minutes to complete the bookshelf. What time was it when Andy was done? You can pause this video now to have this question up as you continue to solve. When you finish solving this question, you may head back into our Google Slides for our next set of directions.